Paul is seeing a spiral-bound notebook with the pages flying from them, as if they have been caught in a wind. The old blue binder with the large hoops, with the paper punched holes through in the hoops, is being moved, and what is coming in its place is other, a realization of other. Now, it is not a rule book any more than the old binder held rules. The old binder held the assumption of what should be, or better said, presumption based on hereditary structures, what was claimed by others, the notes you took in your history class that held the bias of the conquering country, the things you were taught in science that have already been seen as untrue or outmoded, the idea of what language was and how it should be spoken, and the idea of what things must be in outer space based on the very, very, very small glimpses humanity has had. Your comprehension of what fills that notebook, the old agendas, the old equations, the old ways of understanding the self in consort with history, with science, with religion, with language, all are being moved into a new wind. Now, indeed, what comes in its place is other, and what comes in its place he is seeing as golden. And he asks, why do I see this? It feels like a book or a tract or something solid and golden. Indeed, the image that you are seeing is the impression of knowing that has been held throughout time. And the knowing that has been held throughout time is becoming available because it exists in the higher template where it can be accessed. To rise to the upper room where this becomes available, where you may experience this, would be to understand that while you have done your best through the times you have known with the information you have had, what we are showing Paul, golden, embossed, writing, image, structure, is actually predating the ideas that you hold of time and what can be known through linear ideas of historical data or structure. This is not from the pyramids. This is not from your idea of Atlantis. This is actually a precursor to all ideas. When you align in the upper room and you become aware, and underline the word aware, it simply means conscious of what expresses there. Wisdom is actually present, and true knowing is actually present. And there are indeed things that have been precluded from humanity's knowing over the centuries and centuries and centuries. Buried deep in sand, buried beneath the very bottom of an ocean floor. The old information and the old teachings, while present, actually in all ways hold the key to the very civilizations you have created. And these keys that initially created civilization were intended to create civilization in the highest way possible and in the upper room. And throughout the times, the epochs, the millennia, throughout the ideas of time and space that you have utilized, beyond countries come and gone, geographic shifts and floods and comets and all of the things that have supported humanity in its idea of history, this was always present, and it is being resurrected along with the monad. Those of you who think that there will be no instructions in the upper room will become confused here. While indeed you are operating in high knowing, and you are realizing yourself in an equivalency beyond the old textbooks or old rule books, you are still present as a gift of the source of all things, come in form and come with ability to reclaim the manifest world in high tone. The reclamation of the manifest world in high tone is what is the instruction of this gold brick, this gold template, this gold thing that he sees with the letters and the symbols embossed upon it and carved within it. The requirements of each epoch or each time that humanity may comprehend itself anew is always the gift of initial wisdom. And the initial wisdom you might understand as beyond your idea of religion and beyond your idea of other life forms, because you seek to attach these things in ways that will give them merit or perhaps you can comprehend. What you're actually going to be receiving is the innate knowing that is in some ways what you might consider the DNA of civilization and the species itself. And the species, humanity, operating in harmony, in consort with all other things created. If you understand metaphor and you understand the idea of Eden as a perfect state of union that humanity perhaps once knew, you must understand that even in this idea of Eden, there was an awareness of requirements of growth and form. And these things actually were gifted immediately as they were required to be known. The idea of Eden was not about maintaining ignorance. It was about maintaining innocence. And the monad is innocence in its most perfect state. You will have heard it said that the Christ, or what you think of as the Christ, was born without sin. And indeed, if you understand the Christ as principle, you can understand that the monad, the divine spark within you, the Christ within you, the flame that burns inside your heart, is without sin because it must be, and indeed has always been. To move to this level of innocence is not to be ignorant, is not know how to speak or make a fire or build a shelter, but it is to be in the eternal now when you may be in recipients of your requirements or needs. To be the recipient of one's requirements or needs is to be in a constant state of receptivity to source. We used a metaphor of a woman holding up her apron to catch the rain, and in that apron what she required was present, was made so. And this is the same metaphor we offer you now about moving to the immediacy of presence and being in, of, and with source in the upper room. I am in the upper room. I have come. Behold, I make all things new. It will be so. God is. God is. God is. And God is the claim of all things presence, all things being, all things of source. I am in God, I am of God, I am with God, which holds all of the other attunements within the structure and the sound of the claim and its intention for you each.